Okay guys, again let's finish the second part, the second and the last part of chapter 18.1. Guys, just quickly let's remember what we said last time. We started with Osman, the founder, who founded a small Muslim state on the edges of the Byzantine Empire. And then we said that he was called Ottoman by the Europeans, and then consequently his followers became known as the Ottomans. Now, who came after him? His son, Orkhan the first. And the most important achievement of Orkhan is capturing the second most important city in the Byzantine Empire, which was called Adrianople. Alright? Then, after Orkhan, there was a long time of break by Timur the Name, who suddenly shifted his mind and went back to China. If he didn't shift his mind and go to China, we wouldn't have seen something called the Ottoman Empire at all, because he had a very strong army. So the Ottomans were lucky actually, because he just decided to switch to the east in the right moment for them. After Timur the Name went back to China, there was a fight between the four brothers of one of the sultans who did not appoint an heir to the throne. So one of the brothers, Mehmed the First, or Muhammad in Arabic, actually defeated the rest of his brothers and took the throne. Later on, his son Murad II actually defeated the Italians and the Hungarians, which means that he was the first one to expand to the north. Alright. Murad named his son after his father. So the son was named after his grandfather. The grandfather was Mehmed I, the grandson was Mehmed II, who was later on known as Mehmed the Conqueror, because he has achieved the most important achievement in the whole history of the Ottomans, which is capturing the city of Constantinople, which was not being able to capture for 850 years by the Muslims. And the importance of the city is being able actually to connect the European and the Asian part of what is today called Turkey. Constantinople later on became known as Istanbul, as we said last time. We have a movie to watch, and I'm going to explain actually the genius way he had used in order to capture the city of Constantinople. But before, let's just continue the timeline of the sultans until we know the decline of the Ottoman Empire, and we will go back to this movie. Now, Mehmed II died, and his son was his grandson was Selim the Great, and his achievement is actually moving, or let me say expanding, but this time to the east. So he captured the big cities, or the holy cities of Muslims at the time, Mecca, Medina, and also part of North Africa. But if we say the first part of North Africa, he didn't go right to the west, I mean to what is today the coast of Mauritania. So, now, Selim's son, Suleiman, was a very important figure in the history of the Ottomans. Why? We're going to talk a lot about him actually. He achieved so many things. He did so many achievements in the history of the Ottomans. Actually, he was named the lawgiver, or sometimes he was always referred to as magnificent, due to his achievements. Exactly. So what did he do? First of all, he conquered Belgrade. Then he moved to Vienna and Hungary, which means he moved to Central Europe. Today, Germany and Austria are referred to as Central European countries. So he could capture, let me say, half of Europe from the south till the center. Suleiman first advanced to Vienna and Hungary by 1526. The Ottoman Empire in his reign became the largest in the world. And look at the date very well, guys. He crowned Sultan in 1520, and in a matter of 6 years, he could expand his empire to become the largest in the world. He ruled for more than 46 years, which is a very important period of time, quite enough period of time to do an achievement. You cannot do an achievement in 1 or 2 years. You need a very big span of time, but also still, he just, in 6 years, he achieved lots of expansion, openings. He opened a lot of countries. So, was it only about expansion? No, he did so many other achievements, like for example, he created kind of law code. This is why he was called the lawgiver. Sulaiman al-Qanuni in Arabic, the lawgiver. Why? Because actually before him, there was kind of, if you did a crime, you would be sentenced. But sometimes the punishment, the sanction, is not matching the nature of the crime. For example, if you nowadays in the 21st century, please, if you just, if you are reading the news and you just, or you're listening to news and you just listen to this news, I'm just going to say a sentence now and tell me if there's anything wrong or not. Well, yesterday the police captured somebody who stole a loaf of bread and he was sentenced to 10 years. What is wrong in this sentence? Too harsh for the nature of the crime, right? It's just a piece of bread, loaf of bread. Remember this very famous story for, I guess, Victor Hugo, La Misérables?
Yes.
The Miserables. I guess you've all watched about Jean Valjean.
Yes.
The whole story is about somebody who just stole a loaf of bread. And he was like, sentenced for a long period of time, and then he escaped from the prison. And he was like, just for a loaf of bread. Okay? And he was like always followed for the rest of his life only because of this stupid crime he did, only because he was hungry. And that story was kind of reflection of the situation of society in France, actually during the time of the feudal system before the French Revolution, when people were poor. So it wasn't his fault that he's poor. It was only because of the government at the time. They were not running the society in a proper way. So they left their own people poor. Alright? So he created this law of conduct to handle both criminal and civil actions. Now you cannot have a function that is really too much harsh, okay, in comparison with the nature of the crime you did. So he made like a punishment for every crime which really matches or balances with the crime. He also reduced bureaucracy. Who can tell me what is bureaucracy? Anybody knows what is bureaucracy? Yes, sister?
Too much authority.
Not too much authority. It has something to do with the administrative routines.
Too much security.
Oh, you can't.
Bureau's office.
Yeah, exactly. It has something to do with administration. Guys, how many times, I guess it happened, I don't know if it happened with you, but I'm sure it happened with your parents. When you go to finish like a paper or something in a ministry or something, and then you have to take a number, and then you have to stay for 1 2 hours until your turn comes, and then the employee will tell you, well, you have a paper missing, then you have to go to office number 2 in level 2 to sign the paper, and then after the signature you have to go to the second building beside in order to stamp it. How many times it happened with your parents? Right? Yes. I guess it happened with you. Yes. It happened with me as well, so many times. This is called bureaucracy, the administrative routine. It is a waste of time. Okay? He reduced this bureaucracy. And this reminds me, just to connect what we are studying to reality, this reminds me of one of the most important sayings, very famous saying by Sheikh Muhammad bin Rashid, like some years ago, when he said that I want all the people living in UAE to be able to finish all their transactions online. This is a waste of time to go there and wait in the queue for 2 hours or just get a number and stay there for 2 or 3 hours. Like 2 years ago, I wanted to make a visa for my dad, so I went to that general headquarters of the police near the mega mall after the school. So they opened till 7 o'clock. So from 3:30 till 7 o'clock, and I was just sitting, just waiting for my turn. And when it comes to my turn, he told me, sorry, you have a missing paper. So, too much, guys, really too much.
Yes.
Alright? 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to get this paper that there are no crimes registered under my name. This is like a paper that is requested every now and then from different parts of the UAE. Whenever you want to apply for a job, you want to get a license for your job. Okay, so they usually ask whether you are criminal or not. You have to get a paper from the police station. I went to Buhaira police station at that time. It took me like 2 hours to wait, only just for my first card. When it comes, he told me you have to get this and this and this paper. I brought all the papers, I gave them to him, I paid, everything was okay. Then he told me, alright, you have to come after 3 days. So after 3 days, I went there to pick up the paper. So it took me 4 days to get a paper. Okay? And it took me 2 times to take a permission from my job to get a paper. But at the end of the day, this paper was clear in front of him in the screen of the computer. So he just pressed up one button and everything was clear. So I can't understand why he couldn't Like, why couldn't you like print it out and stamp it and give it to me? Why should I wait for 4 days? 2 weeks ago, I applied for the same paper. So I went to this police station here near Mataji. Because you can just do it in any police station. And the policeman told me, why did you come here? He said, because this is the thing that I did 4 years ago. He said, things have changed now. He said, what do you mean? I said, okay, come. He had a tablet, and he just applied online for me. In a matter of less than 15 minutes, I got the paper very well. Like they sent it to me by email, and I just got it, and I just finished. So I finished all my work online. And that is kind of reducing bureaucracy. Alright? Now, simplified taxation. Well, I can't really understand why taxes are fixed. Like, for example, since the time I was born, I hear, like, for example, in Germany, the taxes sometimes reaches 40%. So, but I can't understand if the economy is doing well and the country is making more profit, then why the taxes are still fixed? If my country is making profit, this means that the taxes should be less, right? I can understand you take 40% from me, from my salary, because the economy is just to this level. If next year the economy is making profit and the country is becoming richer, then you don't need to take from me the same amount. Then you have to reduce taxes. Now, this is what he did. On the military side, he created 2 very important things, the Defschreib and the Janizari. The Defschreib is, the empire is expanding. We said that he could expand it to the largest size in Israel. When you expand, it means that you are conquering land. So, through like fighting and going through battles. In a battle, you lose some of your soldiers. So, where are you going to compensate? Where are you going to get more soldiers from? He said, alright, as long as these conquered lands are going to be part of my land, so why can't I make use from the same people in the conquered lands? Because they are going to be my own people, right? So he drafted this policy, which is drafting the boys from the conquered lands, educating them, converting them to Islam. When they are young, it's easy to convert them to Islam, and training them as soldiers. So I will compensate the loss of the soldiers who were lost during the battlefield from the people of the conquered land. What about the Janizaris? Today, in every country, we have the army, the soldiers, and we have the special forces, or what Khasa we say, or special bodyguards, for example, Harith al-Amir, Harith, I don't know. So he created this. He created this system, the Janizaris, which is like a training the elite soldiers. Those elite soldiers are people who gain like different training, tough training, alright? And they are specialized in like special missions. And they are loyal to the Sultan. Moreover, he treated other people of other sects as nations or as millets. And it's millah, okay? Which means that he just gave them the freedom of worship, freedom of speech, everything. Yes, Mr.
So is the chance of like how implement access?
Well, everybody has his own way of doing it. Yes, it's the same as the Asas, for example, in Germany. It's the same, yeah, you're right. Okay, it's the same as, for example, in previous Saddam Hussein Iraq, when he used to make like House of Jumhuri. Different from the normal soldiers, and different, like we used to hear like lots of stories about them. Those are like very huge, everybody has his hand like this, and when the fight started in America, we didn't find anybody. Where they were, I don't know. They were eating it. So, or maybe they escaped with So guys, what about the culture level? Was it only about conquering other lands, expanding the empire? No. He was also fond of culture, fond of arts. He created something similar to the European Renaissance in the Ottoman land. For example, he called very brilliant architects from other places to come and design like monuments, mosques, whatever. So, for example, he called Sinan from Persia to create the very famous mosque in Istanbul. Mr. Mehmet, do you know what is this mosque? Do you know what is this mosque? Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in Beşiktaş playground? Really? Okay. Have you ever been in Beşiktaş? You're recording, huh? I can't say. Okay, guys, I'll tell you just a very good story. When I decided to go to Turkey last October actually, and I know that he's from Turkey, so I asked him, which places do you advise me to go and visit there? And he gave me lots of names. I wrote all the names on the list. And the first day I had a conference, and then I had like 3 days left of my vacation. So I said, alright, let me just go around. Whenever I used to ask people about these like names written in the paper, they used to look at me like this. So what's going on? I visited all these places, and this one, it's all about like, you know, nightlife places. It's all about this. Mr. Mehmet. So guys, this is Hagia Sophia, and by the way, Hagia Sophia is, we say that it's a mosque. In the beginning it was a church, but then after the defeat of the Byzantine Empire, no Christians were left, so why they just keep it as a church, they just turn it into a mosque. But nowadays it's a museum. It's not even a mosque. It's just a museum. You can't pray there, nobody is praying there. Alright? So, as we studied before about different civilizations, like we studied before about the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, and we studied that most of the empires, most of the civilizations around the world in the past have witnessed 3 stages. The beginning, the establishment, the peak time, and then the decline. So this is now the decline time of the Ottoman Empire. It started with Suleiman. We were talking a lot about his achievements, but it seemed that in his last days he created some stupid things. There were kind of rumors, again, nothing was confirmed, that his eldest son, I mean his heir to the throne, is plotting against him or conspiring against him. So he killed his eldest son.
Why
And he killed him because it was a kind of rumor that he is plotting against him. He might like make a coup against his father. Now, then he exiled his second eldest son. So who was left? The third son. So the third son later on became the Sultan, and the third son was a disqualified person. He wasn't a good person to rule. He wasn't okay. Guys, it doesn't necessarily have to be that if you are like a son of a king, or a son of a prince or a mayor, this means that you are be qualified to rule over a country. You shouldn't, okay? It shouldn't have to be like this. So, later, sultans, least of weak sultans, followed actually, and some of them killed their brothers, and some of them killed their relatives, and there was kind of, internal fights. They just, started to take care of their own affairs rather than to take care of the empire. So the empire, at the end of the day, lost its power until actually it was separated, and Turkey, as we know today, was founded out of the largest empire of the world in the past. Long list of weak sultans led to the empire's eventual fall. This is the end. Thank you.